I don't know. What's up? I'm Renton Vlogs, aka the Super Mediocre, and today I want to rewind. And today I want to talk about a hot take. That was shit. What's up? I'm Renton Vlogs, aka the Super Mediocre, and today I want to talk about a quick hot take I have with regards to videography and cinematography, cinema cameras, and mobile photography and videography. And that's the idea that mobile photography and mobile phones will replace cinema cameras, DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, and cameras that have ultimately been the standard to rig out and create content with, be it movies, TV shows, branded content, any type of commercial-based content, vlogs, podcasts, whatever. Name it. If you can shoot it with video, that's the idea here. So obviously there are movies like Tangerine and movies like 28 Years Later, which have utilized an iPhone rigged out like a cinema camera to create the movie. And I just think that an iPhone is great and that you can definitely use it to create a myriad of different content, and you can use it under many circumstances. But those circumstances typically rely on having lots of available light to hit that small sensor. And while you can rig it out like a cinema camera, in my mind, I'm like, why would you have an iPhone and rig it out like a cinema camera and not just buy a designated cinema camera? So I took an iPhone and I took a Red, and I kind of did two side-by-sides. Now, with the Red and the well-lit situations, I only used 4K to shoot the videos, and the side-by-sides are completely comparable, and it's really impressive the way the iPhone held up. And I think the iPhone is comparable to the Red in 4K under the well-lit situations. The Red, in my opinion, still has a slight edge with regards to the visual aesthetic, but where you're gonna see the iPhone fall apart to an extent, it still looks fine, is in a lower light situation. So I went to a warehouse party to document some DJs and document the party going on, and I just had my phone on me, so I pulled it out when I was behind the DJ to shoot with an iPhone. And this is what I would call, it's a good enough shot. And if you're looking to just get the shot, use it for a narrative, use it for a pickup, use it to help tell a story, use it for some type of promo, the shot's completely usable. But is it the best possible shot you could get? And in my opinion, no. Any type of Sony, any type of cinema camera, any type of camera that has a larger sensor with video on it, in my opinion, will perform substantially better in many ways. I also did the same shot using a Red 8K Super 35 digital cinema camera, where you can see the qualitative difference between the two shots. The iPhone, I would say, again, good enough, can be used for a bunch of different things, but if you're going for something more cinematic and more appealing and more for like a wow-based factor, the Red completely crushes it. Now in this particular case, the iPhone is being shot at 4K, and I'm utilizing slow-mo and 6K on the Red at about 100 frames a second. So not exactly a 1-to-1 per shot, but that's not what I was going for here. My point of getting this particular shot was to show that having a designated cinema camera, you can generate a substantially better visual with regards to the quality that you're outputting and delivering as your final product. So, do I think an iPhone's going to replace cinema cameras in the long run? Not at all. I think cinema cameras and the people that really want to push themselves and generate the best visuals they possibly can will gravitate towards those more prosumer, professional-based designated cameras that are meant to get great images, and that's their primary task. Sound as well. But that's what they're built to do, create great images. And what does bother me about Apple a little bit, and this is nitpicking, is that Apple pushes the video quality and video features of their phone and loves to see cinematographers and videographers use them, and you have those commercials by Apple shot on an iPhone, but they don't make any additional products or accessories that are geared towards filmmakers to use on the iPhone for cinematography or videography. All those accessories are made by third-party based companies, and that's fine. But if you're gonna push a phone to say it can be used like a cinema camera, like a video camera, for filmmakers, content creators, and whatnot, I do think you should also make some accessories that help extract the best possible image out of your phone that you can. I think what the iPhone is capable of, especially if it's the only tool you have in your arsenal to go create content with, is a very strong piece of equipment. My hot take is that I just don't think it ever stands a chance of replacing cinema cameras, DSLRs, or mirrorless cameras that are designated to really capture visuals, and that's their primary duty as a tool. And if you're thinking, yeah, 28 years later was shot using an iPhone, sure, the overwhelming majority of the shots in that film were shot using an iPhone, but it was also rigged out with like $250,000 to $500,000 rig. I'm guesstimating there. I kind of looked up some of the lenses and parts and tried to piece it together in my mind, like how much it would cost. An iPhone as is, out of the box, without any accessories, it's just very good. I do not think it's great. And if you're a videographer, if you're a photographer, I do think opting into a more professional piece of equipment, even if it's used and older, going back to like, let's say 2011, specifically with regards to videography, most cameras, DSLRs and hybrid-based cameras or designated cinema cameras from that point on are extremely good. I was shooting with a Canon C500 Mark I, which was from 2012 for a long time. That's how I started these vlogs. And a Canon EOS 5D Mark II, while it has its limitations, you can pick that up for a few $100 and it's still a very solid piece of equipment that's going to perform better from a visual aesthetic point of view than an iPhone. These are just cameras that at this point are over a decade old that are performing better still than an iPhone. So, food for thought. It's a hot take. I just constantly see the discussion online, and I know that with regards to what we search, we're going to see the things that the different websites and platforms think we want to see. So it's one of those things that grinds my gears a little when I see people arguing for an iPhone being the primary cinema camera of the future and a primary photo camera of the future. I think it's great for pickups. I think under well-lit situations, it can perform extremely well and definitely exceeded my expectations, but I do not see it as an A cam for either photography or videography in the long run. And I do think it will have the law of diminishing returns where we'll hit a point and it'll get better than it is today, but it will not increase unless they put a larger sensor in. Now, I don't think the accessories used in 28 years later for the average person are cost effective by any means. And a movie like Tangerine had a $150,000 budget, roughly, if I'm remembering correctly. And I didn't think that movie looked all that good. Again, it's subjective. I thought it was shot well, just with regards to the way the video camera, in this case an iPhone, captured the image. That's what I didn't like. Shot composition and that stuff I thought was great. Just with regards to the visual breakdown of how the colors looked and kind of the motion jerkiness kind of bothered me a little bit. So it's an interesting topic, but yeah, I'd love to know what you think. So let me know in the comments down below if you think the iPhone is the way of the future for cinematography and photography, or if you think it's going to kind of cap out and reach a maximum quality and not really go beyond that. And do you think Apple should make accessories for the iPhone as it pertains to like videography and photography accessories, given that they push the video and photography features of the phone so much? Let me know. Anyways, I'm Renton Vlogs, aka the Super Mediocre, and I just felt like talking about this. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Smoking hella weed, looking at them palm trees. We smoking hella weed, palm trees, palm trees. We smoking hella weed, looking at them palm trees.